Hey, it's H here, and this is the video series all about Elliott Wave Theory. On this video we're taking a look at Elliott Wave application on the charts. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I suggest you to do that, as they give a foundation to this, and without them and knowing the basics, it might be hard to follow. So the previous rules and guidelines must be learned before going forward. Usually on the charts you would have multiple counts or alternative counts, but on this video we're just checking out one count that we can see on the charts. Also, before we start, like everyone knows, the application of the theory is subjective, and everyone might not be successful with the application of this theory without putting a lot of effort and time into it and really actually studying it. But in any case, the wave analysis offers insight into the trends and the wave structure of the markets, and helps basically you understand the price movements. So originally Elliott Wave was used in the line charts and logarithmic charts as well. So basically these are the line charts, but I'm using it with candles currently, and that's up to the chart artist as well what you want to do. So I use logarithmic on on the chart, and I use both the Fibonacci scale and without the scale on the Fibonacci tools. So I use logarithmic scale and arithmetic scale on the Fibonacci tools. So they both differ, and is up to the chart artist again which one you want to use, but both are used generally. So let's jump into it now. This is a chart of ramp USD on Binance for hours time frame, and let's jump into it. What I usually do is find the bottom of some structure. Before we start again, this is a snippet of ramp from 2020 October into the end of the year 2020 December. So a small part of structure that has already happened in the past, but I wanted to show this chart specifically. So all we can see is so the bottom is here, top is here. We can assume this is a 5-way move. It looks kind of 5-way-ish. Highest RSI reading would be here, which would indicate this would be a third wave, because on the 5th wave you would want to have a divergence with the third. But before we go into that, let's start with the Fib retracements. Actually, before that, we can see this is some kind of, I think this looks like an impulse move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the thing is, as you can see, this part comes back to here. So if I label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as I see first, let's go with the minuet. This is not valid because wave 4 comes back into wave 1 price territory. But there is a thing. This looks like a diagonal though. Like so, an expanding diagonal. How do we make sure that it's 1? We can check out the extension, the price amount of each wave with the Fib extension tool. So how do we do that is we measure wave 1 to bottom of 2, and we can see that it is slightly bigger than wave 3, which means that it is possible for it to be a diagonal. Just to confirm again, wave 5 would be bigger than wave 3 if this is an expanding diagonal. Oh, down. So up here into the end of wave 4, and wave 1-to-1 would be here, so it's way bigger. Same would be wave 4. Wave 4 would be bigger than wave 2 if this is an expanding diagonal, so let's check that out as well. And yeah, wave 1-to-1 would be here, and actual end of the wave looks like it's here, so it's a possibility. So this definitely looks a diagonal to me, so I would label this as 1. Then let's take these here and minute, and these things that I have here, this is a template button here. I've created templates for each of the wave degrees so it's easier to apply on the charts. Wave 2 must be here because it's a local bottom, as wave 1 of the next wave cannot go behind or below the start of wave 2. Oh, sorry, wave 1. That would be probably here as we look at it. So this would be 1, 2, 3 would look to be here. Let's check out the Fibonacci, the extension tool. Actually, before that, let's actually confirm that this is a valid too. So by here I am, no, there we go, and it comes to the golden pocket, so it's perfect. I'm not going to analyze this wave 2 because it looks complex and I don't want to spend time on that on this video. So let's, as we saw, the wave 2 came to the golden pocket, which is perfect. That's the most usual one. Then we can pull the extension tool from 0 to 1 to 2, and as you see it hits 1618, which is the most typical for wave 3 extensions. How do we think it's the top here? If the price would have come here, we can see RSI tops out here, and it should have divergence between the 5th and the 3rd. So if we think this would be the 3rd, there's no divergence here. But if we wait a bit, there is a divergence here. So between this peak and this peak, as you see here. So this would be a 3. Just to label the subwaves, what I was talking about. Like so. So these wave 5 of minuets has a divergence between the 3rd and 5th, which is fine. Then what we can see is some kind of correction downwards. Let's measure that out, and how you measure it, it's from 2 to 3, and these are the typical levels. Most typical is 382, which came again into a perfect retracement. Next one is 236. Usually you don't want to go below the 0.5, and invalidation would be around here, as it would go into the territory of 1. So that is perfect. So we placed it 4 here, and 5th would be the next one. How do we project that? Again, we would take the 1, now 0 to 1 extension tool, pull it to end of wave 4, and most typical one is 1-to-1 extension. 0618 is the least, but in this case it would end up being a truncation, which is not really likely. Again, to end the wave you would have divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. So let's check it out. And 5th would be here, like so. So there is divergence. Of course there's peaks on here, and what you would look, if the price was going up here, you would look for the divergence on smaller time scale or time frame or smaller degree, and that would be here. I would think this is kind of sideways action, so it can be somewhere here. I'm not going to dig into this too deep, so I'm just going to assume 3 is here based on the highest RSI of this wave structure, and wave 4 here, wave 5 here, and why wave 5 is here, again divergence between third and the 5th, so here and here. And for this whole structure to be complete, we had the divergence between 3rd and 5th here. Okay, so that looks like a complete wave structure, so we can label it 1, 2 somewhere here, and so on, and this would be a minor wave. Let's check out the retracement, and as you saw, it doesn't really go in even into the 0.5, which is a bit weird. But if we take out the I'll pull out the arithmetic scale, it goes beyond the golden pocket, which is still fine. And that is basically how you would start labeling the whole chart. And obviously if this would be price action that is happening currently, you would use channels as well. You would pull the temporary channel from 0 to 1, 0 to 2 to 1. Then on this break upwards, you would confirm the trend upwards towards wave 3. Then once wave 3 has been confirmed with a divergence, you would have 1 to 3 to 2, and you would look for the wave 4. Usually it breaks the channel, but it is not needed, and as this came already to 38.2 and it's not even close to this channel, wouldn't expect it to go further. Again, if you go to smaller time scale or time frame, you would probably need to see a divergence on the C wave, so A would be here, B and C. That would need a smaller time frame. Then after the 4th is found, you pull out the channel from 2 to 4 and then to the 3rd, and this would be the final channel to look for 5. On this one, again, it didn't have volume to push higher. It had divergence already in here, and break of this channel would confirm the downtrend or the correction to have happened or start happening, and at this point you would at latest enter the short. If you would enter the short here, it would be fine, and you would use this as a confirmation basically. And that's how you would go on forward and start labeling everything. So I think that is going to be the end of this video, and I thank you for watching this and see you on the next one.